Hey, real quick, guys. This video ran a little long, so I'm gonna highly recommend that you go down here to the speed settings, do the playback speed, and do like 1.5 speed. If you want, you just watch like the first maybe 10 minutes or something. That'll probably give you enough of about what I'm talking about. It's just gonna kind of repeat, and at the end I kind of rambled on for a little bit, but there's some good information in there. So I would watch the last maybe 5 minutes, and then the first 10 minutes if you're strapped for time, and definitely use the speed setting to get yourself through the video a little quicker. Thanks, guys. What's going on, Foxes? We're gonna be looking at your game 3 versus the Boxers. I have it uploaded on ball chasing here, and first thing we're gonna look at is we're gonna look at boost, and I'm gonna go down, scroll down, and look at the small pads you guys got. Shadowstorm getting 78 small pads, which is pretty impressive. That's a really good number, and I like to see that. 55 is the average I'm looking for, so Lurlar and Jaywalk just a tad beneath that. Or, sorry, Lurlar and Papa Hoff, 420. My bad on the names. Another thing I like to look at is the time with 0 boost, and this is a lot of time to spend with 0 boost from Papa Hoff and Shadowstorm. So, probably means you guys are just using a lot of boost, and judging by the Shadowstorm picking up 78 pads, you're probably using a lot of boost to make up for bad positioning, and then ending up with 0 at the end of a play, or having to jump off a wall with 0. We'll take a look at that in game, and we'll see what we can find. Not a lot of stolen big pads, which means you guys probably weren't stealing the corner boosts when you got the chance on rotation. But we'll look at the replay and we'll see that. I like to glance at this heat map for the pickups. It doesn't really show too much, but you can kind of see if there's anything alarming, I guess. So not too much there. Another thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at movement and look at power slides here. So this tells me that Lurlar is probably not power sliding almost at all. Papa Hoff's power sliding a good amount. Shadowstorm's power sliding a reasonable amount. But definitely work on power sliding more. That's going to really help your recoveries and your speed. And if you're doing any quick turns, you definitely want to be power sliding. 16 per game is like really low, so you'll definitely be able to bring up your speed more if you're power sliding on your recoveries. That way you can keep your momentum up and keep moving. We'll look at positioning real quick, although this isn't terribly important. It seems like you guys pretty equal distance from each other. Looks like you guys spent a lot of time on defense in this game. 80% of your time in your defensive half. We'll look at the game and we'll see what exactly was going on. So these are your heat maps for your positioning. So I like that I see Shadowstorm kind of waiting around midfield a lot. It's pretty good. Looks like he's probably playing the 3-man position pretty well. These are all pretty good, although just unfortunately defensive heavy. Looks like you guys are having to do a lot of defense, not too much offense. We'll look at the game and we'll see what we can do to fix that. Just going to take a look at your camera settings real quick just to see if there's anything super ridiculous. Oh yeah, so Papa Hoff is playing with my old cam settings, maxing it out. Papa Hoff, you might want to think about raising your stiffness if you're going to have such a high camera distance. Stiffness really helps not have a huge difference from your car when you go into supersonic. So maybe give it a try to increase your stiffness. Might help you if you do still want to play at this this high of a camera setting. Also, Lurlar, pretty high steering sensitivity, but if you like it, you like it. And Shadowstorm and Papa Hoff might want to think about going to 1.2, because 1.2, to me at least, feels a lot better. And if you haven't used ball chasing before, this is a really good way to look at your replays. I'm just going to show you guys real quick here what it looks like. So it shows you this little in-game replay watcher. And from here you'll be able to watch everyone's boost, see the little pads, see the canisters. And it's pretty neat. This is a good way to watch your replays on your own. And you can also speed it up, watch them in 1.5 or 2 times. You can slow it down if you need to, if you want to just, you know, see what you did wrong, what you could have done better. So really good resource for watching your own replays. I'm going to watch replays in the in-game replay viewer and go over it in there. So let's get to that. Alright, here we are. So first thing I want to talk about is just making sure you have a plan on kickoffs. Always let your teammate know where you're going. So Shadowstorm should be saying he's going on the ball. Lurlar should be saying either cheating left or right. Papa Hoff saying cheating left or right. So right here, Lurlar, you do get the ball, but be very careful because this is a last man challenge. You need to really recognize when you're last man. If he had had a better touch here, he could have easily hit it over your head. But luckily he hit it too far away and you got a good 50 there. So right here, someone should be on this ball. Looks like everyone just left it alone. See, I'll tell you who should have been on it. Give me 1 second. So Papa Hoff, you should definitely be turning upfield for this ball and trying to steal the side boost if you could. Lurlar, you should probably be moving at least towards the ball or staying midfield at this point. You can see that their whole team's kind of facing away. You can tell that at this point no one's going to get like a boomer clear on the ball. But if you give them a ton of space and time, then they'll have time to turn around and make a good play. Probably a little far back here, Papa Hoff. Lurlar, you should definitely be facing forward, not facing back at this point. There's a fairly good chance Shadowstorm's going to end up with the ball here. And he does. So right about here, just as you get better and you start working on playing faster, you should definitely be up on this Lurlar. You got Papa Hoff behind you, backing you up, and you can see that Shadowstorm's actually heading back too. So this is definitely a chance you want to get up and maybe if you can't shoot this, just put it off the back wall. And then Papa Hoff will be able to move in and make a shot. You end up getting beat there. Let's see where Papa Hoff's at. Oh, okay. So you probably want to avoid this Papa Hoff. You guys are both on the same side of the ball. Shadowstorm. Yeah, I figured Shadowstorm would probably turn there. So now you're in a situation where Papa Hoff and Shadowstorm, you're both last man back. So if you miss the ball here, it's pretty much a goal. Good clear, Shadowstorm. Try to hit that Shadowstorm when you get balls like this and you're in an awkward position where you know you have to hit this because someone's shooting. Instead of trying your best to put it like back up field, if you just put this straight on the back wall, if you just hit this ball straight this way, it'll come off out this way and you won't end up having the ball bounce straight back center, because that's what you're trying to avoid at this point, because you're pretty much being the last man and you need to be touching the ball in such a way that your teammates have time to make a move on it. So just think about getting a little better touch on that towards the back wall. Yeah, good job following it and staying with it, because you know a shot's probably coming since it got pretty centered. So Papa Hoff, we're going to look at your return right here. So you go up the wall here. I'm not sure what exactly you're planning on doing, going up the wall, or if it was just an accident. Definitely in this situation, you're going to want to grab a couple pads and then whip around right here and come back post. That way you can be ready to make a defensive play. And that's what we're going to be talking about a lot in this replay, is just making back post rotations. That way we can make good defensive plays and be there for our team. Lars coming in back post but gets bumped there. So Lurlar, instead of jumping there, you definitely could have just turned and went on this ball and just controlled it. Definitely no reason to leave that ball there. Yeah, when this drops here, you should be able to look around really quickly. And right now, if you took off ball cam, you could tell that there's absolutely no one near this ball but you. So you'd had plenty of time to go grab that corner boost, or maybe just a couple of pads and play the ball slowly out. Papa Hoff, if you see that Lars letting this go, you should probably take over and try to go get this. That's what you do. Good job. So, when we're moving up field together and we have the ball, so right here, Papa Hoff has possession. He does bang it pretty hard, but Lurlar, you want to be kind of waiting out middle, looking for this to come out, because that's what's ideally what Papa Hoff's going to do here, is get a touch somewhere off the wall or in the corner and hit the ball out this way. And so you want to have your car headed this way, ready to make a shot. And at this point, you know you just cut off Shadow and goal, so you know that he's back, so you don't have to worry about getting beat. You and Papa Hoff are just looking to make an offensive play here while you have possession. Papa Hoff does get a touch out the wall, but you were too far in corner here. So now Shadow's last man. Hopefully he can control this. Yeah, not bad. There's no one there. So Shadow needs someone moving upfield here with him. So he totally has the ball here. Papa Hoff should probably be looking or telling Shadow he's across. Yeah, Shadow gets a pretty nice center here, but you guys went so far back that there's no one here to help him. I'm also going to post a VirgeRL video for you guys that just talks about using the boost lanes. Also going to go over that real quick right now. But, so pretty much, the boost pads create these lanes that give you good movement, or good movement in your rotation. So, for instance, if you're clearing out from goal, you have a nice pad lane right here coming back where you can get tons of boost and get back in the game. Now, if you don't want to rotate all the way out, you can use the diamond here and stay in the play without going all the way back to a corner boost. So right there, I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pads. So you're picking up 6 pads there. So you're picking up 72 boost. So that should be plenty. You know, that's as much as... I mean, at that point, you should have enough to make any kind of play you need to make with your teammates. And you're still supporting your teammates by staying in the play. So just think about that and be something to work on. So Shadow, you got to be careful here because you're returning ball side. You did make a good pass, but you don't want to clutter the play here. Pretty free ball for Lular, but you're so close that he can't really do too much. Papa Hoff, you're in a really weird position here too. You're giving him way too much space. You're in a position right now, if they do lose the ball, you're going to have to do really good Shadow defense, but you're probably going to be in a 2v1. Yeah, Papa Hoff, you're pretty far spaced there. Lular's probably going to cut you, yeah. Now, at this point, Papa Hoff, you're not in good position because you're going up this wall and the ball's coming out center. So this is where you should have just been waiting around kind of in this area and kind of watching the play develop and moving left and right with the ball. Typically, you're going to have one player fighting the ball in corner, one player kind of in this area looking, and then another player in this area. So, just watch your spacing. See, right now you have all 3 of your players on the same side of the field, which is typically bad spacing and bad positioning. Yeah, it's a really tough play to get that far off the wall. Another problem we have here is Shadowstorm and Lular are both returning ball side. So the issue with that, as the ball's coming up, let's pause this. As the ball's coming up the sidewall here, you know, as the ball's moving on this half of the field, it is really tough to come from this position and make a play on the ball, especially if there's a shooter coming in. What you're really going to be wanting to do, instead of going that direction, is when you return, come the other direction and cut across this boost lane here, and then return to back post. That way you can make an easy defensive play. this point, someone should definitely be going. Okay, Shadow's there. Nice shot, Shadow. So hopefully we're communicating on kickoff. Put the ball over to Lurlar. Maybe messed up the half flip or something. So Shadowstorm, this is another one where you're returning ball side. So the issue here with returning ball side, I know you didn't have much of a choice off the kickoff. I'll show you the path I would have rather you taken. So right here, when the play kind of goes awry, this is a free ball for Papa Hoff, but because you're here, he's thinking you're playing it. So next time you get this boost here, you're going to want to be coming across, grabbing these pads, and getting back post. Now what that'll do is it'll make it really clear to Papa Hoff what you're doing. He's going to know that you're not playing the ball because you've now moved away from it, and he's going to know he can go play the ball because you're going to be behind him. Yeah, instead he's waiting here, and you end up taking the ball instead of him, and you end up going into a 50. Good 50, though. Lurlar, you're pretty far upfield here. I'm not sure if you're cherry picking or what you're looking for. Shadow, you definitely should have stayed with this ball, even if you were low boost. You'd won that 50, just stick with it. Yeah, Lurlar, you're just not in good position at all here. Right here when Shadowstorm has the ball, you should, if anything, be in the center of the field, not on the sideline, because you should always be trying to play the ball towards the net, not towards the corners. The corners defensively are a safe position for the ball to be in. So yeah, I should have just kept on this Shadowstorm instead of peeling off. You're already supersonic. Looks like Farty doesn't have too much boost. Definitely could have maybe made a 50 here. Papa, you definitely want to be sitting back center here. This is probably not going to end well and it's probably going to shoot out. Yeah, so you end up with the ball over your head here. So that's just not playing the last man position well if the ball goes over your head. Lurlar, definitely no reason to be where you're at. If you do end up in a weird rotation like that, don't be afraid to just maybe make a bump at goalie and then come down this boost lane in the middle and then return back into rotation. Another path you could do if you realized a little earlier would be to just double back on these and then come back this way. But you definitely want to just get yourself, you're pretty much out of the play, so you want to get yourself back into the last man position. So you need to be getting back, that way Papa Hoff can just go, because you're in no position to make any plays at this point. So Papa Hoff right here, you want to be real careful playing the ball. You're the last man here. You definitely want to just play this slowly into your own corner. That way you can give Shadowstorm and Lurlar time to get back. At this point, Shadowstorm and Lurlar should both know that this is a pretty rough situation. And they should both be heading back, trying to get back post. Preferably coming through this path right here to get back post. And maybe Shadowstorm, since he's further back, could take a slightly wider path and maybe grab the corner, then come in back post. But yeah, I can tell this is going to end up rough here. Yeah, you've passed it out center at this point. Good pickup from Shadowstorm. Lurlar, you're still just kind of in no man's land. You haven't really been effective yet. Now you're back post, which is good. Now right there, you made the mistake of getting past back post. It's not bad to just wait here. You could just wait in this area. Shadowstorm, you should be making a much more clear rotation behind him. And then once you're behind him, you should be telling him, I'm back post. And then Lurlar knows that he can move up and go to make a play on the ball. But definitely don't go into net like you did Lurlar, because at this point you're in a really tough position to play the ball and you've lost all your momentum. Yeah, and you end up just not being able to make it there in time. And then effectively Shadowstorm has, you know, he has half a second, not even, to react to that because he doesn't know if you're going to get a 50 or not. Yeah, so just back post rotations and using these boost lanes are really going to help you guys out-rotate teams and create a lot more offensive pressure and take away their offensive pressure. So Lurlar, on this right here, you've cheated up. Or no, you didn't cheat up. The ball gets hit towards you. and you aren't able to get it, looks like maybe you'll go back post here, which is good. Yeah, so that's fine. If you're not comfortable playing the ball on the wall, that's fine to wait for Shadow Storm to make the play here. Another thing you could think about doing is going up the wall and hitting it out center. You just want to be really careful when you come up the wall. Like if the ball's here, you don't want to be coming up this way and hitting it into your own net. You'd want to be coming up right under it and trying to scoop it out this way. But yeah, good call just going back post here. Right now you guys are set up in really good position. You have Shadow Storm front post playing the ball, Lurlar back post waiting, and Papa Hoff getting boost and coming back. So that's what we want to see more often. Now right now Papa Hoff should be telling Lurlar he's back post, and Lurlar, you should recognize that Shadow Storm has the ball, and you definitely want to be moving upfield at this point. Yeah, there's the pass out middle. So that was a really good play by Shadow. Shadow, you probably just don't want to follow this. You're putting yourself in a really compromising position jumping off the wall. There's no one pressuring the ball here, and Lurlar could easily just shoot this or have just wait for it to hit the ground and just power shot it off the bounce. Yeah, you end up getting essentially one too many touches, making Lurlar whiff. Papa Hoff's really far back, but he should be in position to play this. Good play. Good way to return to back post Lurlar. So Papa Hoff, you're kind of really close to Shadow Storm there. You're not really in that good a position unless he just wins the ball here. So just watch out for this. You're returning ball side here instead of going back post. If you miss the ball in corner here, just grab these pads and come back post. That way you could be behind Lurlar at this point and ready to make another play. Instead, you just kind of end up caught out here and end up not being able to make any play. And now you and Shadow Storm are also in the same rotational line, so Shadow Storm has to cut you. And barely gets the 50 save. Be real careful playing this kind of stuff, Papa Hoff. A lot of times, if you're not real confident in this play, you're going to end up centering to the enemy team. They're not shooting the ball from this position, and it's going to stay close to the back wall. So there's no reason to not let Lurlar or Shadow Storm play this, because they're going to be able to play it without using hardly any boost or making really any effort. Very good clear though, so I'm glad to see that you actually made the play, and it results in a goal. Yeah, so if you are comfortable doing that, definitely do it. So Lurlar, you definitely want to be turning towards this. Your teammates have done a pretty good job of controlling the ball to this point, but you end up going all the way, where you turn all the way back after you pick up the side boost. You're turning this way, so you might not have had ball cam on, but had you had ball cam on, you would have known to go up this wall to be able to make a play over here. Good try. Oh, good try again. So let's see what we could have done better here. So yeah, Lurlar, definitely tell Shadow Storm you're playing the ball here. Shadow Storm should end up with it, yeah. Okay, so right here we have Papa Hoff 420 heading all the way back to his own corner. I don't want to look at how much boost you probably used to get there, but I'm going to guess you probably used like 40 boosts to get back to your own corner. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so definitely shouldn't be using that much boost just to rush back to your own corner, Papa Hoff. No reason from your position over here you couldn't just grab these pads if you wanted to play a little more defensively. That'd get you 5 pads, that'd be 50, that'd be 60 boost, so you'd be totally fine with 60 boost to make a play. Instead, you guys lose all pressure here. Luckily, they gave you a lot of space and you're able to get all the way back to the ball. But you can see how you ended up using probably close to 100 boost to rush all the way back to that corner and then rush all the way back to the ball. So you're probably at this point like at 30 boost or something again. So be really careful here, Shadow Storm. You're last man at this point. If it gets boomed on net, you can't save it. Good job backing off. Papa Hoff, again, be really careful with the touches towards the center. When we're on defense and the balls, when we're shadow defending, we always want to play the ball to the corners or to the walls, because that's a position they're not going to be able to shoot easily from. Yeah, ends up resulting in a goal. I want to see where Lurlar went here. So Lurlar... Yeah, so probably wouldn't have helped Lurlar, but there is a quicker path you could have taken. So at this point, you lose the ball. So right now, you should be just looking to move up this boost lane right here and go straight up center. And then when you get over to near the net, depending on how the play is developing, when you get to this pad, you probably want to peel off and come this way and get back post. So just something to think about on your rotation. You end up going all the way almost to this corner, then all the way to this side boost, then all the way to your own corner, and then back to the net. So you could have probably cut your path in half and maybe actually been there to make the play had you just used the boost lane down middle. Another thing here, you know, as Papa Hoff, we don't want to play the ball like that if we can help it, and pretty poor recovery there. Yeah, and you just end up not being able to make the play. As a Papa Hoff, right here, you're in a position where you can't really play the ball, but you're stopping Shadow Storm from playing the ball right now. If this is over your head and you can't get it, just rotate out. Just grab pads, come back post. That way Shadow Storm can make a play here and know that you're behind him. Yeah, he ends up having to jump over you and ends up not getting as good a touch as he could have. So someone should be moving up here. Lurlar was back post, and Papa Hoff, you should have been back post relieving Lurlar, but due to you staying in the corner, you should definitely be going on this. You end up in a position where you can't challenge, and you can't really save this. Good play off the back wall. Lurlar, you should definitely be going on this. Papa Hoff, you should not be trying to play that again. You should just be rotating back post. Yeah, because the issue there, Papa Hoff, is with you playing that again. So right now, Shadow Storm's last, and he sees that, because he can see both of you guys right now. And he knows he can't leave the net. He's the last man right here to defend. So right here, Shadow Storm would have liked to be moving up and making a better play. And you should be back post, being able to make the easy clear here. But Shadow Storm luckily stays and is able to make a little save. But he shouldn't be having to make such a tough save because there should be someone behind him at that point. Good dish out. So Papa Hoff definitely be looking off the back wall here. You should know that Lurlar, you should definitely be closer. Should be at least moved up into this area. Kind of waiting to see if the ball comes off the backboard out this way. Papa Hoff, definitely turn and look for the shot here. Shadow Storm's probably going to get something. He doesn't, which is no big deal because Lurlar should be here to pick it up. Now, you're both in the same line here, and you're both returning goal side. So what I'd like to see you guys do after you make a play, if the ball's in this corner and the play's moving this way, you should definitely, after you make your attempt to make a pass out of the corner, go for a bump on goalie, try to take one of them out, and then, depending on where the ball's at, determine if you can get to this corner boost, and then turn around and play. If you can't get to that corner boost, then you just take these pads, turn around and make a play. And if you just need to get back, you can just keep going back and then get to back post like we want. And then if you do get a bump, or maybe you get bumped and slowed down in here, but you realize you need to get back, you can come down the center and get back. So there's a lot of different options there, besides both cluttering up and returning over here. Because now at this point you're both in the same area, and you're both facing backwards, so you're both not in a great position to make any kind of plays on the ball. Where Lilar should at this point be getting a pretty nice pass. Yeah, see, that's not terrible, probably not shootable unless someone was pretty far behind half line. Yeah, but we end up having no one that can play that, which is an issue. So Papa Hoff, you really cluttered this up again, where you see your ball side, you try to make a play, you don't get the play, but then you come back, and at this point Shadowstorm thinks you're going to play the ball because you're there. So you're stopping Shadowstorm from playing the ball. He's hesitating at this point. You end up going for it and getting a pretty weak touch, where Shadowstorm would have had a much nicer touch, and you could be back post at this point, letting Lilar actually go for this ball. But now at this point, you are going to have to go for this ball, and you're probably low boost. Yeah, you end up not going for the ball. There we go. Good patience to wait for it, though. Good try on the shot, Shadow. Yeah, so Lilar, you probably got a little close here. You and Shadowstorm end up in the same position. So at this point, you should be able to see, Lilar, that Jaywalk is probably just going to boom this, because it's just right to him. And Shadowstorm's already close enough that if Jaywalk missed, he could shoot. So definitely don't push in like you just did, how you turned up field right there. Yeah, so we're going to need someone to make the defense here. Good defense, Shadowstorm. Papa Hoff. You just kind of got unlucky that your turn ball side there. The ball just got played over to you. Just try to stay out of the way of the play if you can, and let your teammates know what you're doing so you can either make the play or not make the play. Yeah, so take a little more time on this kind of stuff, Papa Hoff. You end up with just a free ball here. You're way closer than anyone else to this ball. So Partio is the closest that could even make a play right now. And he really can't do much. No reason to go up and aerial that ball. There's just no one near you, and you know Shadowstorm's way upfield, so take a little time here and make a better hit on the ball. You end up just passing out center and having Lilar make a save. Shadowstorm, be careful on the cut there. I know you're probably just trying to play fast and get this out. Should definitely be on that Lilar. Good touch. Now right here, Papa Hoff, you're going to want to be moving back post for defense. Looks like you're trying to move on the ball. Pretty clear that Jaywalk's getting the ball at this point. He might whiff or something, but no, he did not. Good play. So Shadow, you just got to communicate with your team, because you don't want to send Lilar on this. Lilar, you don't want to go for this either. Now, typically this would be your ball had your teammates rotated out behind you, Lilar, but they're not. They're both in corner, so you know for sure you don't want to go for this, because you are the last man. So if this ball gets hit straight up center, and gets centered right in front of your net, there's no one there after you. And that's pretty much what happens. Luckily, Papa Hoff makes a nice save. So yeah, just recognize when you're in that last man position, and if both your teammates are already on the ball, don't push in on the ball. Don't take any 50s that are going to get you scored on. So right here, again, you're in the last man position, Lilar. Good speed, though. You should be able to at least 50 this, but this is a risky 50. Yeah, you don't get the 50. Shadowstorm, no reason to go for that. Communicate with your team. Papa Hoff should definitely be playing that ball. At this point, Shadow, you should be just trying to get back post. You end up trying to make a couple speedy plays and just putting yourself out of position twice. Lilar, definitely recognize when your teammate has the ball. use a little more ball cam. Looks like you're probably taking it off to pick up boost, which is fine, but just look to toggle it a little more if it's on a comfortable toggle button, and if it's not, you should make it on a comfortable toggle button. Papa Hoff's totally alone here, and you guys should be telling him that. I don't know what the comms sound like with you guys, but at this point, tell Papa Hoff, like, hey, we have no one upfield. You're alone, Papa. You're alone. That way he knows to play this slow or try to go for a solo goal. Because right here he makes a nice pass, then just lets it go. Because he probably thinks that there's someone to shoot this when there's no one anywhere near him. So he ends up just giving the ball to the enemy team when you guys had a really good offensive attempt there. Yeah, and then everyone's too close. Papa Hoff, good save. Shadow, good save. Yeah, so you guys got to recognize when you have something like this. Lular, you're last man at this point again. You just want to stay back. Shadowstorm's probably going to try to cut this off, so just look to see what's going to happen here. At this point, you should know that Shadowstorm's getting beat because he's not even up. So you should definitely be turning back, not turning towards the ball. Not a bad idea, Shadow. Lular, you probably want to be a little closer to support your team here. Papa Hoff kind of turned back weird and isn't really coming back post. He's going to cut you off here. Yeah. So at this point, Lular, you should have known your last man. And you got beat here. You should be rushing straight back to back post. Instead of using a bunch of boosts to grab this boost and then come all the way and probably grab this boost and then come all the way back, you should just turn, grab this pad, and come back. Just do a couple flips. Don't use too much boost. Should at least have like 30 left over. You end up going all the way to the corner. I think you even missed it, maybe. Yeah, because right now you're just all kind of in the same position, and no one was in position to shoot this ball that Shadow lobbed out. Hopefully Papa can make the save here. Good try, Papa. Definitely the right idea. This would be a little easier if you're a little further back post, but you're coming from ball side, I realize. Had you been a little further or closer to this, you could have used the wall. Since you made that good wall play earlier, maybe that's something you're comfortable doing. Had you been further back post, you could have went up the wall and easily played it here without using any boost. But good idea anyways. The only thing I'd say is just stay further back post. If you're further back post, it's just going to make it a little easier to play the ball. Always easier to move forward and to not have to go straight up with your car. So if you had your car back here and the ball's right here, it's a lot easier to make this angle than it is to make this angle. And unfortunately, when you're in this position and you're making a save straight up like that, odds are you're going to hit it up off the ceiling and back down in front anyways. So just be aware of that. If you stay back just a little bit more, you still do want to make sure you're timing it to where you're touching the ball before it's in shootable area. So you definitely want to touch the ball before it gets in front of the net. But yeah, right here you end up in a really tough position, having to go almost straight up with your aerial. Good clear, Shadow. So Papa Hoff should be able to play this and boom it. So Shadow or Lular should be upfield at this point. Let's see who's coming back. Right here, Lular, you should be looking to turn upfield and grab pads and make a play. Instead, you're locked in on that corner boost. Yeah, you guys end up giving up all offensive pressure here on a ball that should have been your guys's. Yeah, again here, Papa Hoff just playing way too far back. We just want to be waiting in this position. Just slowly picking up pads, you know, keeping boost up, looking to make a shot. Should be just kind of coming around here, grabbing pads. and looking for that play. Yeah, because they would have passed it right to you. Also, don't rush this. That's 100% free ball. There's no one anywhere near this ball. So use a lot of boost and flip into this. When both your teammates are facing back towards you, definitely look to play something slower. A high lob off the back wall here would have probably got 2 of the defenders to go up and gave you guys a pretty good scoring opportunity. Instead, you end up grounding it right to them, and they get the high lob. Good catch, Shadow. That's what I like to see. That's good controlling the ball and recognizing that you have a free ball there, and there's no reason to just boom it back to the opponents. You end up controlling the ball and getting it pretty far downfield. Don't touch that ball again. Let Papa Hoff just play it. Good idea looking upfield with Papa Hoff. So right here, Papa Hoff, you should probably be rotating out and letting Lular move in. You're kind of just meandering around. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going for a shot like that where there's 2 defenders. Pretty low odds that they both miss. Good play, Shadow. And that's what we're talking about, going up the wall and playing the ball out towards the corner, out towards the side wall. You did a really good job there, Shadow. Let's see, here comes the ball. Of swinging wide and playing it out that way. Buying your team lots of time. So that was a good play there. Papa Hoff should have an easy save. So right here, Lular, you probably want to move upfield with Papa Hoff. Should be a little closer to this ball. Good play. Recognize that Fart isn't playing that ball, and you got a little bit of time. You could actually put a shot on net there instead of just hitting it towards back wall. Alright, Papa Hoff. Alright, good try. Lular, good turn. Ugh. So seeing a little bit of mechanical errors from you, Lular, on the aerials. Definitely work on that aerial warm-up pack. I don't know if you have it, but I'll make sure the code's in the description. So Lular, you should definitely be turning and looking for this ball upfield. Papa Hoff's just boomed it downfield. The whole team is facing the opposite way. No one's booming this ball back downfield. If anything, they're gonna play it off their own back wall. Papa Hoff comes up with it and scores there. So yeah, oops. So you guys should see from that a lot of the times that you have awkward positions or awkward plays is really that you're putting your team in that situation because you're trying to overplay the ball by staying in the corner, or you're trying to not rotate back post, or you're trying to cut off. So real quick, I'm just going to kind of show you guys a little back post, how it makes things easier. So if you're back post and the ball's coming at you, it's a lot easier to make a play straight out like that than if you're moving in. Oops, wrong button. So if you're back post, it's a lot easier to play the ball straight out and get these saves. So when the ball's coming from that side, if I come back post here, it's a lot easier for me to just come out and get a stronger touch on that ball than if I'm on the same side as the ball and the ball is coming in. See, now I'm put in a position where I just have to make a really tough play. So really look for those back post plays. It's going to really help you guys, especially after you make a corner play. So if I play the ball in the corner, if I have time, you might want to look for this side boost and then start rotating back post. Come through these pads here, and then be back post waiting for the play. It's going to make it a lot easier. If you don't have time, then you're going to want to cut it shorter. grab maybe these 4 pads, and then come back post. And if you really don't have time, then you're going to have to cut it real close and maybe just grab these 2 pads and then be back post. But you end up seeing that it's a lot easier to make saves coming across the net than it is if you're coming straight out of the net. When you're coming straight out of the net, the ball can be hit behind you, which makes it really tough for you to make the save. So just remember, you want to keep the ball in front of you, and you want to keep the ball in your, like, working cone, is what I like to call it. So essentially in front of my car, you know, there's this area that I'm, like, comfortable playing the ball in. So you want to keep the ball in that area. So just something to think about when you're playing. You know, because if I'm in the net way deep in here, and then I look at my working cone again, you know, I can only play the ball, well, give it a little more than that. I can only play the ball about that area, which leaves this whole side of the net exposed, where I can't make a save, unless I cut it off really quick. Where, if you're back post, you've now made your working area the entire net. You know, I can easily play anything coming around the walls here. I can easily play any shots on net coming in this way. So just really work on the back post rotation and work on not running all the way back for corner boost too. So we're going to say I'm red team right now, and we'll play the ball up in corner. So if you come in here and you try to make a pass, maybe you're unsuccessful, look for the bump on goalie and get in this pad lane right here, looking at the ball, and then get back on offense. So I'll turn off unlimited boost real quick, and I'll just show you how much boost you could be getting that you guys aren't getting. Although you guys aren't doing terrible on the pads. So right here, if I'm coming out, yeah, I'm looking for the play, 72 boost now. Come back, grab these again. So there's all this free boost out here that you can just keep getting, and you can keep boosting around to stay in position. So when you make a play in the corner, that's what I really want to see you guys doing, is looking for the bump and then grabbing these pads. If you can grab the corner boost, that's good if it's up, but it does put you further out of position. So if your team is losing the ball, you're going to want to cut it short and get in this lane right here. See how I'm able to pretty much boost around non-stop and maintain my boost? So you definitely want to be using these boost lanes. It's going to help you improve your guys' speed a lot. You're going to find that you're in position for passes a lot more. And the other thing we want to talk about real quick is just for, I think it was Lurlar that was not doing too much of the drifting. But definitely you want to be doing quick turns. So real quick with boost back on. You need to make a quick turn. You just want to hold power slide for 90%. And then you could do a quick U-turn like that. So I'm using the lines to kind of define. So if you just hold power slide for 90% of your turn, so you hold power slide till you're at this point in your turn, you'll be able to make a really quick turn and get back. If you hold power slide too long, you'll end up spinning out. So just 90% and back, and you'll be able to quickly get back to the direction you're trying to go. Another thing for recovery, let's say I'm trying to shoot something, you want to make sure your wheels are facing down on the wall. That way you can maintain your speed. Definitely holding drift for when you're landing awkward. Say go for a high aerial. If I hold drift here, I can maintain all my speed and stay supersonic. Or if I do something else and I don't hold drift, I am not maintaining my speed. So definitely look for that. You'll be able to maintain a lot more speed if you're holding drift. Alright, that's about it, guys. Kind of rambled a bit there at the end. I'll show you the VirgeRL video again and link in the description. It's going to really hammer in that boost lanes and the back post rotations. And we're also going to drop in the aerial warm-up pack that I have that I like. And that's going to just give you a lot of like high area balls to go for, and in a lot less pressure than in-game situation. Alright guys, thanks.